Hi, all my lovelies. Welcome to another October Saturday edition. Good morning, good morning. I am Tammy. I'm the Siberian Wind. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Very, very big welcome to you. Thank you for being here. If you are a regular subscriber, again, thank you for being here. You guys know that my channel runs on you guys, okay? If you weren't here, I wouldn't have anything to be here for. So thank you so much for being here. I see Chloe in the chat, Glenda, Patricia, Maritza is here, Kathy's here. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Kathy says that she's canning Tabasco peppers at the moment, so just listening. Oh, absolutely fine, Kathy. You keep those the Tabasco peppers where you are. I have no desire to get the Tabasco peppers. Lavetta, welcome in, welcome in. Glad you are here. So I told you that I would have some updates, but I normally start this live about 9, so we're going to hang out for like 6 minutes and wait until my normal start time. That way I can give everybody the updates all at the same time. Kelly, welcome in. Terry, I think first time I've seen you in my chat. Welcome, welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. So glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here. Let me get a little caffeine, sorry. I am in... Oh, Kathy, I love it. She says, I don't eat them, my hubby does. I love it. I love it. So today I am in my Scary Coulter costume. This is my Scary Coulter costume. So before we get to any other announcements, and this is the one that I'm going to be saying throughout the entire live this morning, so you'll get sick of hearing it, and I do apologize. We are going to go live at noon tomorrow, noon Mountain Time. So that is 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We are going to be putting this together. So if you guys have not seen me working on this, go back a couple lives. Last Sunday, I believe I was working on them. These are embroidery blocks. They are Anita Good Designs Halloween Town. So if you want to go to Anita Good Design, you can go get the embroidery designs. Let me go grab a link for you guys, and I will put that in the chat, because that one's going to be one. I really should have done some links. I really should have done some links this morning, but I didn't. So now I am a little behind. Let's see. I need a good design. There we go. And let me pull up Halloween Town and give you guys a link to that. There we go. Gotta love having a keyboard. That makes things a lot faster. Now, I did not do my Halloween Town in the original colors. It does look like they also have Haunted Village now available. It is definitely different. Looks like it has some clowns, more housing, like actual like coffee shop, things like that. So there's another pack out there. It looks very similar in style to Halloween Town. Right now, Halloween Town is 29% off. So they've got it on the Anita Good Design website at $70.99. So it's not a cheap pack. But I've been hanging on to it for a while. But let me give you guys the link, so if you want to get Halloween Town, you can. Glenda says, love your shirt, Toby. Thank you, Glenda. Thank you, thank you. The one just like this went out to Joyce. It was in purple, though, instead of gray. So she got that shirt sent to her. Anybody who won last Tuesday, this past Tuesday, everything was shipped out Thursday, except for International. International will be going out this upcoming week. I have to go and do those myself. I can't send the husband and have him try to figure out what he needs to do International. So I will do that myself this upcoming week. So this upcoming Tuesday, we will have more giveaways. So please, if you are looking for getting a pattern, getting another little surprise, please, please, please make sure to be here. I do have a couple of new things that I'm going to make to put in there. So they're not in there yet, obviously, because I got to make them. And I've got to get my tools out to make them. So it may be a little bit. It may be just in time for Christmas. But I do have more things that are going in the giveaway bucket. So don't ever panic. That giveaway bucket is always going to have things in it. So when we do the mass giveaway type things, there will always be something in there to give away. So how are you guys doing this morning? Is it cold where you are? We had a freeze warning last night. Pam, welcome in. She says, happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is definitely a Saturday. It is 40 degrees here, according to my computer. 41, but feels like 34. So it's pretty chilly this morning. I went out with my coat and my boots and all of that to stay warm because I didn't want to freeze. There's no freezing allowed this morning. I did not want to freeze. I'm going to work on 2 different projects this morning, so you guys will see me doing a couple of odds and ends of things. I started when I went to my guild and taught cut and chiseled at my guild, or one of my guilds, and I needed an example of all the different parts and pieces. So I pulled out some Christmas fabrics. I pulled out green and red. I've already got my line on that. Do I have my line on all the others? I do. I don't need to draw lines. Yay! That's exciting. So I've got a Christmas version of cut and chiseled that's just a table topper that I've got it started, but I haven't sewn the rest of it. So we're going to do that first. We're going to do a little bit of sewing on that first, and then I will swap to the other project that I pulled out to work on this morning. This afternoon I'm going to be swapping gears. I will be cutting everything, prepping for Halloween Town. And the bubble quilt is now done. The top is done. So I need to layer it and get it quilted as well. So that's also on my docket for today because I do need to get it bound ASAP. I still need to get a label for it. I've got another quilt that needs to be quilted and shipped with the baby quilt. So I have got projects coming out of my head. Oh my goodness. Chloe says that it was in the 30s and now getting into the 60s. I think today the high, oh gosh, let me go pull it so I don't tell you wrong. I think it's supposed to be low 60s. It's supposed to be 62 today. Friday it's supposed to get back up to 70 because we all need the opportunity to get sick evenly. So it is what it is, right? Pam says yesterday mom was 40, looked like we were 50. Oh, yours was 40 and looks like we're 56 right now, trying to get motivated to get out of the apartment. I don't blame you, Pam. Kathy says it's only 59 there in Louisiana. Oh my goodness, that's cold for you guys. Kathy Quilts and Crafts, welcome in. Good morning, Kathy. So we now have 2 Kathys in the chat. So welcome to. And so if I say Kathy, I apologize. I'm not trying to distract one from the other. I call people by their names. Even when they match. All right. So first announcement. So if you guys were not here earlier, tomorrow at noon is when we're going to go live to get started putting this together. My normal live time on Sundays is 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So we're going to go live 8 hours before that. So we are going to basically go live, work on it. If I need to take a break and step away for a second, you guys will get music and a cool little screen. But yeah, so we're gonna work on putting Halloween Town together tomorrow, starting at noon Mountain Time. So if you want to see how I've decided to put that together, you want to see what it's going to look like, tomorrow is the day. So it's going to be a long sewing day, which also means it's a great time if you like to broadcast a YouTube channel while you are sewing in your studio or your sewing room or in your living room or dining room, wherever you sew. If you want to be broadcasting a YouTube channel, you will have mine available to broadcast. And you'll get to see all of these blocks up close and personal as I work on them. So there's 25 different blocks in the Anita Good Design Halloween Town pack. Now, I'm not going to do any of the borders. There are border blocks as well, but I'm not going to stitch those. I've got another plan in place of how I want to put everything together. So I really didn't need to do anything with that. So it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. All right. So starting in November, we are not going to have a regular monthly or a regular weekly Saturday morning live. Okay. If you've missed any of my announcements before now, this is another announcement for it. Starting in November, I will not be live every Saturday morning. I will be live on occasional Saturdays, like I may come in choose a Saturday, or if I've got something going on. It's a great time to have a long live on a Saturday or something, but it's not going to be an every Saturday thing. Pam says that she might long arm tomorrow while she watches Halloween Town. Yay! Chloe says so fun. Yes, right? I'm looking forward to it. I have been kind of dreaming of finishing Halloween Town for a really long time. I started Halloween Town over 8 years ago. That's how long ago I started it. And I started it with fabrics I wasn't in love with. So I recently repicked new fabrics to make it with and absolutely fell in love after the first block. I thought I was happy with it before I started stitching that first block, and then once I stitched that first block, I was absolutely in love and committed to making sure it got finished. So this has all been stitched in 2024, so the top will be finished in 2024. I'm not sure that it's going to be quilted in 2024, but the top will be finished. So starting in November, what the live schedule is going to be. We're still going to have our Tuesday night lives. Welcome in, Andrea. Good morning. She says, howdy, everyone. Howdy, howdy. So we will still have our Tuesday night lives still at the same time. So still at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are then also going to have a Thursday night live at the same time. So it's going to be 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. I apologize. My brain. Welcome in, Linda. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Chloe says that she's excited for me to finish Halloween Town. I am too. I'm so excited. It's been so long since I've had something so insane to finish, something so detailed and heavy stitching. It's been a long time since I've gotten to finish a project that I've had so much time invested in. Each of these blocks took about 3 hours to stitch. Some of them took a little bit less if I could sit by the machine and turn the speed up. And then some of them didn't take that long at all, or took longer. Mitzi says good morning. She's got to run and clean, then say hello to Donnell. I might pop in later. Absolutely, Mitzi. Good morning to you. I will be live tomorrow, noon, starting at noon Mountain Time. So if you want to come stop in tomorrow too, I will be here as well. Chloe says, hello, Andrea. Just saw your mystery sew along. It looks very fun. Ooh, mystery sew along. Ooh. I need more projects. I totally need more projects. All right. So starting in November, good morning, Tammy and chat. I'm lurking. Absolutely, Jess. Welcome. Good morning to you. Good morning. So Tuesdays is going to be 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Thursdays is going to be 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And Thursdays is going to be Land That I Love. So Kathy in chat, Kathy from My Hobby Home that's in the chat, and canning, hang on. I know Tabasco peppers. Yes, she was canning Tabasco peppers. she will be joining me starting Thursday, November 7th. That is the first Thursday in November. We are going to have her on the channel over here, hanging out, and we're going to start working on Land That I Love. It is in the, it is in the book that I've been talking about. Hang on. Oh my goodness. There we go. Celebrate with Quilts. If you've not already purchased this book or have access to this book from your library or whatever, Susan, good morning. She says, good morning, Tammy and all in chat. Kathy's now done with the Tabasco peppers, and she's on to the jalapenos and the cayenne peppers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So Kathy and I are going to be working through Land That I Love. It is a quilt pattern in the Celebrate with Quilts book. Good morning, Giovanna. Long time no see. Welcome, welcome. So if you have not already purchased a Celebrate with Quilts book and you want to purchase it, I don't know. Let me see if I put the links below this video. I really didn't do the housekeeping like I normally would, so I apologize. No, it is not there. If you need a copy of this book, please let me know if you cannot find it. It is available on Amazon as well as Fat Quarter Shop. It is Celebrate with Quilts by Lissa Alexander and Susan Ake. There are multiple different patterns in here. Oh, good question, Pam. She's asking Susan if she's helping her daughter move. Andrea is asking Kathy how Santa is coming. Yes, right, Giovanna, you finally got to my live, right? So there's a lot of different quilts in here. So there's a peppermint rose quilt, which is Christmas themed. There's Mia Moore, which is Valentine's themed. There's an Irish weave quilt, a courtyard quilt, blue willow, which I think is absolutely stunning. Winning team, one that's called Tessellate, pointed parade table topper, piece and quilt sampler. There's a perspective quilt. There's a lot of different quilt patterns in here, in addition to Land That I Love. And Land That I Love is a sampler quilt. So we are going to start with the blue section of Land That I Love, which is the blue stars pattern section of the American flag. So we're starting with that section of Land That I Love, but that is what we're starting November 7th. We are going to have those lives every week, pausing on Thanksgiving possibly. Don't know what we're doing on Thanksgiving yet. I may be live. I don't know whether or not Kathy will be live because she may have family coming in. But I will probably still be here. I may or may not be working on it on Thanksgiving, but I probably will. But we're going to be working on that every Thursday night through July. So you guys have time. If you want to join in, you do have time to catch back up. Susan says that she had a wonderful evening with her daughter, Sue Ellen. We celebrated her birthday. Awesome. Yay. Susan says that we'll go to her apartment later this morning to help her again. Awesome. Andrea says, I want that book, but I need to sell some patterns so I can buy it. I do not blame you, Andrea. I would be in the same boat right about now. I was blessed that I was able to buy it when I bought it. Kathy says about to start sewing it today when the grandbaby goes home. So happy I have my table clear to start. I've been reviewing the pattern. You're ahead of me then. You're ahead of me. I have not cut anything. I've not cut anything. So that's one thing. And then we will still be keeping our Sunday night lives. Okay. So my 8 p.m. lives on Sunday nights is going to be a staple. Okay. So we're going to have Tuesdays and Thursdays, both at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Laura's welcome here. Welcome, Laura. She says, hi, Tammy and everyone. I'm hoping to hang out for a little while and wanted to say hi. Absolutely, Laura. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I was like, whew. Panicked. Kathy's way ahead of me. How much does the book cost? You know what? Let me go grab the Amazon link, you guys. That's just the simpler way to do that. I did have it at one point, but I have not. I thought it was in my links, but it wasn't automatically. Let's see. It is coming up paperback from $27.74 in US dollars. So that is through the Amazon link version is $27.74. I don't know if Fat Quarter Shop was cheaper or not. Let's see if Nightbot will let me. Nightbot will not let me post the link. Go figure. It's way too long apparently to copy and paste, so we're gonna do it that way. Joyce, she says, "Oh well, sorry I'm late." You're not too late. You're good. You're good. Yeah, absolutely, Pam. She says she may start Land That I Love later. Can't start something until her recovery from her surgery on November 8th. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Andrea. Yeah, put it on your list as a great idea. Let me do this and see if this gives me a shorter link for you guys. There's always a way. Yes, there we go. Amazon gave me a shorter link. Okay, so that is the link to the Amazon copy of Land That I Love. I don't know whether or not Fat Quarter Shop ships internationally, but there's a lot of patterns in this book. It is, according to Amazon, it's 181 pages. There's so many patterns in it. There's a lot of block patterns. And then there's more than 5 full quilt patterns in there as well. So you are getting a lot for that one book. I was kind of disappointed that I had to buy the book separately from my kit. But it is absolutely worth every penny. It's one that I think I will use more than just this once. So I think I'll get through this pattern, and then I will get it later. Chloe says Etsy is cheaper. Ooh, okay, yes. Yeah, so you guys have heard it from Chloe. If Land That I Love is too expensive on Amazon, check your local quilt shops, check Etsy, see where else you can find it. But at least with that Amazon link, you can see what it's supposed to be. So you have the information to go searching for it elsewhere as well. So Land That I Love, we're going to start that November 7th. We're doing Halloween Town starting at noon tomorrow. So we're going to finish up Halloween Town and get it off the wall by tomorrow night. So this is coming off the wall and getting sewn into a quilt by tomorrow or during tomorrow's long live. So we're going live noon tomorrow for that. And then the Land That I Love quilt, we're starting that November 7th. Kathy from My Hobby Home is going to be over here joining me. We are going to work through it together, kind of like a block of the month. November is going to be a lot of blocks, and December is going to be a lot of blocks, but they're all duplicate blocks. So we're not stitching 15 million, different blocks. We're stitching the same block a lot of different times. So that's what November and December are. So if we don't finish in November, December, it will be easy to pick those pieces back up and finish them throughout the rest of the quilt. So that's why we're starting with the duplicate ones. Giovanna says, I love the quilt on the wall. Yes. So I did post the link for that earlier. It is Halloween Town. It is available at Anita Good Design. I boosted the link from my page. Hang on just a second. Let's see if I can get it to come back up. Yes, I can. All right. So my colors are different from the original. So if you have an embroidery machine, that is the link to the Anita Good Design embroidery pack that has these designs. Susan says that there's a few patterns in the Celebrate with Quilt books that I want to make. Absolutely. Yay! See, there's a lot of things to use it for. So it's a good investment. And I'm not one of those that tends to buy pattern books. I really am not. I will buy a book that has different blocks in it so that I have ideas to springboard off of. But it's very rare for me to buy a book that has a pattern in it. I bought it specifically for The Land That I Love, but I am also in love with more than just that pattern in the book. So I may be doing more patterns out of that book coming up because I really do like them. So starting November, we're going to Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. We are not going to have a regular Saturday morning. I'm going to reserve Saturday mornings so that I can put a random Saturday live in there and I actually put some time and effort into it. Because right now I'm scrambling for Saturday mornings. I'm trying desperately to get up in the morning. I'm fighting. So I want to stop fighting it and I want it to be something I'm enjoying. So I enjoy spending time with you guys, but I want to enjoy getting up for it. So we're going to make it so that I can enjoy getting up for it. Oh gosh, Andrew. She says she had tons of books but lost them all in Hurricane Harvey, so she's trying to rebuild her library. I can understand that. Kathy says that she loves the book too. Yes, absolutely. I do. It's fantastic. All right, so here's the other cool announcement. And guys, I can't believe I have actually spent 20 minutes. Oh my gosh. Spent 20 minutes just on announcements. I haven't sewn a stitch yet. I'm talking with my hands too. That's part of the problem. So, my Sunday is at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So it's, if you're catching William on his channel, my live is before that. His live is later than mine. I don't remember what time he goes live. But he goes live pretty darn late. And I think mine is before him. So, and I think it's My So-Called Life. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on what William's channel is, but I believe that's his channel. But yeah, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for my Sunday night lives. Tuesdays and Thursdays is 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, there is a time change coming up. With the time change, I'm not changing my schedule. So that time change is November 3rd. So I don't have a live on November 1st or 2nd. So when you guys see me on November 5th, which is Tuesday, that's the first live. Actually, sorry, when you see me on November 3rd, which is the first live of November, it will be, I will have fallen back. So that means instead of it being 9:21 my time right now, it would be 10:21 my time right now, I believe. Something like that. So just be aware, time change does happen here in Wyoming. So that will bump me back. So Giovanna, if your time zone does not change, that may help with lining up your times too. So we could figure something out too. Let's see, Andrea, I have a box of books. I am me through Facebook, and if any of them, I will send to you, no charge. Oh, that's amazing, Pam. That's very sweet of you. Giovanna says, or I go to bed early, and William or I go to bed really late to get your live. Yeah, right? That is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. All right. So in the Millennial and Young Quilters group that I'm in, I am not technically a millennial. I'm just above being millennial, but I'm not exactly Gen X. So I'm kind of on the cusp of two generations, so to speak. But I hang out with some millennial quilters on Facebook. So some younger quilters. I just turned 42 recently. And my younger quilters to me still means like 30s. So, some of these quilters are, they're kind of those young professionals, or they're just getting their lives settled. They may have young kids, all of this other stuff, but they may or may not have gotten taught how to quilt by their mothers or grandmothers or other family that knows how to quilt. So they may or may not have had that, or they may have wanted to and just never had time, or because of COVID, they couldn't go spend time with them and learn a few years ago, things like that. So I spend a lot of time in those groups to also kind of see what a lot of people are working on. So even though I know what a lot of traditional quilters are working on right now, it's not always intuitive for me to see what the younger generations are working on. So I hang out in that group also to kind of see what's important to them. What about quilting is important to them? And I got a couple of requests, and there's a couple of people that were posting about foundation paper piecing, and they didn't know how to do it. Well, if you guys remember, I am working on a temperature quilt, and that will be issued out the beginning of January or late December. I'm almost to the point where I can finish it out. Like, I'm a couple of long work days away from getting to that next step that I need to be at. And that next step will probably take another couple long work days. Oh, that is fine, Joyce. She says, thank you for the t-shirt. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to wear it, so she gave it to her friend. Absolutely. That is exactly what you do. And I couldn't wear it either. So that's why it was going out. My husband, bless his heart, orders me too small of sizes frequently, and then remembers that I don't wear that size, so he has to order 2 shirts of identical. So that's why I ended up with 2 shirts. So absolutely fine. So the what was I gonna say? So the millennial quilters, a lot of them are trying paper piecing. A lot of them. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not very easy to learn when you're not in person. Paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, however you want to call it, not EPP. We're not talking English paper piecing. We're talking paper interfacing, things like that you're sewing onto, that either you tear away or you don't tear away, but it's not hand sewn, it's all machine sewn. They're learning how to do that because they want to create these designs that are of their dog, of their cat, of their, of these weird animals. And absolutely, Chloe, she says, I do know how to foundation paper piece, but I'm learning and making mistakes. It just takes practice. Yes, it does. And when I've looked at, and I've looked. Giovanna says foundation paper piecing is difficult. Yeah, I know. It won't be difficult once you get into a routine, but it is a matter of getting into that routine. So a lot of the millennials are really, really struggling with foundation paper piecing because it is so dementedly different than regular sewing. And I love it. I do love foundation paper piecing. But my temperature quilt pattern is foundation paper piecing. Chloe says that she learned it from watching Beth of Goody Goods. Awesome. And then Kathy says that she loves it. I do too. Andrea says, I just took a class last month on FPP using freezer paper, and you do not sew on the paper. I've been doing it and love it. I can use the same pattern over and over again. You have to think opposite, says Giovanna. Yes, absolutely. All of this makes foundation paper piecing kind of its own craft. So, we're used to sewing on the line or sewing a 1/4 of an inch away from a line, or, sew to cut apart, sew to press apart. We're used to all of these kinds of things. And, pre-cut fabrics, like, you cut your fabrics and then you sew and then you cut them apart and you press them. And we're used to that kind of technique. That is a lot of what the quilting world talks about. We talk about traditional piecing, not paper piecing or foundation paper piecing or freezer paper piecing. We talk about just the regular piecing. So what I am going to do on December 14th, you guys can mark your calendars. It is a Saturday. It is the second Saturday of December. December 14th, we are going to do a Christmas present. I'm going to issue you guys a Christmas present. We are going to do foundation paper piecing, and I'm going to make it a long live. I don't know what time in the morning we're going to start, so I haven't set all of that out yet. Before December 14th, I am going to issue out a free pattern. So you do not have to buy the pattern. You do not have to spend any money. You just have to download it and print it. So, whatever printer you have, or, send it to Staples or Kinko's or wherever and print it. It doesn't matter how you print it, but you will need to print it. And I'm going to go over details before then. So probably December 10th, we'll go over the last little bit of details. But I will get it issued no later than the 10th, so that you guys can have a class on December 14th as my Christmas present to you guys. So it's not a traditional, how I do my freebie patterns, and I do them like once every other month or so. It would technically be November. I can't do it in November. I've got too much still going on, but I can do it in December. So what we're going to do is I will issue out a pattern that I have drawn, and I will make it simple, but I will also make it so that you learn some of the techniques that the simple patterns don't teach you. So we're going to go over that on the 14th. I will have this camera obviously set up. I'm going to bring in another camera, and I will have multiple camera angles at the same time so you guys can see exactly what we're going to do. I haven't designed the pattern yet, but I want to make it something that you guys will actually enjoy putting together, and that will make it a great lesson so that you can remember everything that you've worked on. Giovanna says, this year passed by so fast. Yes, it has. Yes, absolutely it has. My husband asked me the other day, he's like, well, when did you start your channel? Because as of this morning, guys, I am 20 subscribers away from monetization on YouTube. So I'm at 480 subscribers as of this morning when I started this live. So you guys have gotten me there. It's been an amazing and very supportive community. So I thank you all for being here and doing that. And he said, You're almost at 500. I said, yeah, I wasn't expecting to even try to get there until the end of January this upcoming year. He's like, well, when did you start your channel? I said, end of January. So guys, we have grown that much in just this short amount of time. I mean, we're not even to the end of October, so we're not even 9 months in, and we're almost at 500 people on this channel. So that is fantastic. But I want to give you guys back everything that I can, because you guys are supporting me just by being here, just by hanging out, just by chatting, all of that. I want to pay you back for that. Giovanna says, that shows we've been enjoying ourselves. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And I did, by the way, I've got my quilt plan for the next giveaway quilt. And I've got the fabrics for it. I just need to send everything through the wash, because I like to pre-wash. So I'm going to send everything through the wash, and then I can start getting cutting. So the next giveaway quilt is coming up. So yes, so those are the main announcements right now. So tomorrow, starting at noon, we're going to start on Halloween Town, and we're going to stitch that until it is done. So it may be a really long day. Pam says, people crave positivity, and this community is so positive. Yes, it is, right, Pam? Everybody is supportive of each other, which is fantastic. We've all been through struggles. We've all been through fighting with our machines, or fighting with the fabric, or just not having our sojo, whatever struggles we've been through, we've all been through them. And you guys are supporting each other through that, which is fantastic. And then you guys are letting me help support you through it, which I'm loving. I am so blessed that you guys let me do that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so starting November, we are going to we're going to have Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. We're doing this tomorrow, but then we're moving to Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays starting in November. And then December 14th is our Christmas party. We are going to do the Christmas, my Christmas present, which is we're going to be putting together a paper piecing project. So I'm going to give you guys, in plenty of time, I will give you guys the pattern and what fabrics I recommend that you try to use for it. You can use whatever you want. You can absolutely use whatever scrap fabrics you want. Pull out the hideous stuff you don't ever want to see again. Like you want to get rid of. That way you're not worried about ruining your, quote, good fabric. Absolutely pull out the stuff you hate. The stuff that nobody else likes. Go ahead and pull that out. That is absolutely fine. I want you to enjoy learning the process. And a lot of the basic foundation paper piecing patterns, you only learn that process once. Like if you sew a block with most quilt patterns, you only do that block once. We're going to do it a couple of times. So you're going to get a rhythm going. So that way you're not getting out on your own after you've done this project. You're not getting out on your own and going, oh my gosh, brain fart, what just happened? What just happened? What did I do? What did I forget? You're not going to have that problem. So I will give you a list of supplies. I will give you a list of fabric recommendations. And you guys will also get a pattern to print. And it will be absolutely free. Susan says it's like a fun quilting bee with friends. Yes, it is. Patricia agrees too. So does Chloe. I love it, you guys. Yes, it is absolutely like that. So I'm going to do a little bit of sewing. I need to make more of my half square triangles. This is for cut and chiseled. I taught cut and chiseled at my local quilt guild, and I used red and green fabrics, so I can just make a quick little table topper with it. And I still have half square triangles to sew. So I'm going to sew my lines first on that, and then I'm going to pick up sparkle so I can sew while we talk. So that I've put needle to thread, or needle and thread to fabric. However we were supposed to say that. However that phrase goes, right? So I know Chloe was saying she was going to be back and forth between doubleheader softball games. What is everyone else doing this morning? I know Kathy from Hobby Home is working on canning peppers this morning. Something I have never done in my life. I've never canned anything. If you guys have ever seen the little meme of this glass jar sitting on the counter with a can of Campbell's tomato soup inside the glass jar and the lid and everything else on it, and says my canning is done, that would be me. That would absolutely be me. Giovanna says that she's been crafting for a long time and have enjoyed myself with all the crafters on YouTube, but not as much as with quilting community. I've made so many friends. Absolutely, Giovanna. There's something different about the quilting community. When I've looked at other crafters, unless you're talking like card makers, a lot of people, it's not really quite a community. Now, the card making community, I've seen a lot of camaraderie in that community, but it's still hit or miss as well. But there's definitely a lot more here in the quilting community, I believe. Andrea says that she's sewing together her strips for the Bargello Quilt Sew Along on Donna's channel. Awesome. I was watching that last night. I was watching that. I absolutely love that Bargello she's putting together. It's been a while since I've done a Bargello, but I've got another friend at a quilt guild that is doing a Bargello as well, so it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Giovanna is chilling on her bed. Awesome. Well, scoot over and we'll make room. Scoot over and I'll bring the popcorn. Let's see, Kathy Quilts and Crafts. So true, Giovanna, right? Kathy from Hobby Home on the cayenne now. She's making pepper sauce. Ooh, okay. Well, you have fun with that. I'm not a spicy food person. Y'all got me tongue-tied this morning. Oh my goodness. Patricia says learning FPP with a free pattern from Legit Kits and some scrap fabric I have. Awesome. Chloe says it should be lurking. She has to drive home. Absolutely. All right. So for those of you who are not driving and unable to type while driving, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Kathy, I did not know you were going to be canning that this morning when I pulled that card. So if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would that food be? I got asked that question the other day, and I think my answer is probably, what was it? What did I say? Maybe I said chips. Pam says, rearranging embroidery files on my computer, getting ready to figure out first project on the Bernina embroidery. Awesome! Kathy says that she would eat pizza every day for every meal. I'm hoping you would do different toppings for different meals. That way it still feels like a different meal. That was what I was thinking of too, because I was like, nah, do I really want to eat pizza for every meal? See, with chips, you could have potato chips, you could have apple chips, you could have banana chips, you could... you could do so many different things with chips, so you could get your all your vitamins in. So maybe that would be what I would do. Laura says that she's going to try to straight line quilt on her domestic machine, but she's been delaying it because it is larger than anything she's done before. Yeah, the one after the baby quilt, the bobble quilt that I have to finish, is a queen size, and it is also walking foot quilting. Oh, let's see. Oh, got a new comment. Dawn Berkshire. Welcome in, Dawn. She says tacos. Mild. I don't blame you. Let's see. Andrea says... Oh, Patricia said tacos. Okay. Kathy says that she doesn't eat spicy either. Andrea says Supreme Pizza has all the food groups. Chloe also says pizza has cheese, toppings, and dough. She's not driving yet. Laura said she'd have a hard time deciding between pizza and Mexican. Well, Mexican isn't technically a food. It's a food group. So you'd have to choose one specific food from the Mexican dish platform to be your only food to eat every day, every meal. Giovanna says that she fell asleep watching Donna because it was late and had to get up early to get her Echo on her hand and do some shopping to prepare for the red alert we have going on at the moment. Okay, please tell me, what is the red alert? I have never heard of a red alert. I'm very, very curious what the red alert is. Glenda says combination pizza. Dre says sweet potato chips. Yes, fantastic. Those would be absolutely awesome. Pam says, I'm with you, Laura. Pizza or Mexican? So hard to choose. Kathy says, yes, breakfast pizza, Hawaiian pizza, barbecue chicken pizza. So many options. And what's really funny is, so I pulled this card up just trying to give an example of all the different, cards that were in my deck that I picked up the other day. And my friend answered tacos. I was like, well, I said I would answer pizza, except that I don't think I could handle eating pizza for every meal. Laura says quesadillas are pretty awesome. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But I still think the chips would win because, you can do so much with chips. You can put anything in a quesadilla. Yes, you really can. You really can. And the card isn't specific on, that you can't add other foods or whatever. Red alert is for flooding as we have a storm passing. Oh, no. That's pretty severe. Okay, so you need to keep us updated. You need to keep us updated that you're okay. Not cool. We just went through a whole section of the country here getting flooded a whole state and a half getting flooded. So we are very well aware of how dangerous flooding can be. Actually, one of my worst nightmares was flooding. I had nightmares as a kid, and it was flooding was the nightmare. Flooding was absolutely my nightmare. There's a lot of things I can handle. Flooding is not one of them. So our hearts will be with you, Giovanna. Let's see. Giovanna says, I love eggs, but they're not too good for the veins. No, they are not. You are absolutely right on that. They are not good for the veins. Dawn says they're breakfast tacos, Checo taco. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you can do pretty much everything with tacos too. And see, with quesadillas, you could do corn tortilla or flour tortilla for your quesadilla, even though it's not traditional. You absolutely could do eggs, bacon, sausage, all of that. You can do them vegetarian or you can do them vegan or, with dairy products. There's so many options. We're actually going to have tacos today. Alabama Crimson Tide football is playing today, so we are having tacos. Don't ask me how that's the common thing, but it is my husband's favorite food. So I bet you if he were asked this question, he would say tacos. I think I would get sick of tacos after a little bit. But I think I would get sick of pizza too. I think I would. So I bought a pumpkin the other day. I bought a pie pumpkin. And here where when I lived in Alabama, I bought a white pumpkin, and it turned out to be a pie pumpkin. Well, when I was buying it, I had no idea that there was different types of pumpkins aside from regular or the oversized giant large ones that you don't ever want to do anything with. So I bought a white pumpkin and I roasted it and made my own pumpkin filling, or made my own pumpkin puree to use for my pumpkin pies. Well, so I bought a pumpkin and I need to roast it this upcoming week. So I will be prepping a pumpkin for Thanksgiving dinner this upcoming week. So we will have pumpkin pie this year. Giovanna says, I've been watching the hurricane in the U.S. We were flooded last month on the 19th, and they are still trying to fix the river, so it is a delicate situation. I believe it. I believe it. Laura says, it's cold and rainy here, so I'm thinking soup tonight. I can't decide whether I want potato soup or chili. Ooh, chili sounds really good. If it wasn't that we were already having tacos, I would definitely be going for some chili. Chili's on my menu today. By Friday we're going to be back up to the 70s. We're going to be back up to 70. So, yeah, it's going to be what it's going to be. But I would definitely, absolutely go for some chili. Susan says, I could live on breakfast food easily. Breakfast burritos, sausage, egg, muffins. Yeah, exactly. Breakfast food is addicting. I bought this little microwave egg cooker to make egg bites. And I like it. But it's amazing how little I can eat when I do it that way. Dawn says, I love roasted pumpkin seeds. I have yet to roast my pumpkin seeds. I've saved them before to roast them. And I'm the only one in the house that would eat them. So I don't remember why I've never gotten around to roasting my pumpkin seeds. But I really ought to. I really ought to. Maybe I did roast them one year and just didn't know it. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I might have. I might have. Let's see. Kathy says that she has cabbage roll soup in the crock pot. Yeah, see, Tom would not eat that. I could not get him to eat cabbage roll soup. So what I'm doing right now, I've had my lines drawn on my half square triangles. So I'm cutting them apart on the line so that when I get ready to work on this again later, all I've got to do is press and trim. Then my pieces will be ready to assemble. Let's see, Giovanna says, I would love chili, but my daughter doesn't eat beans. You can make chili without beans. It just doesn't taste as... It doesn't have that umami texture to it without the beans. The beans definitely add the structure to it. Let's see. Pam says, oh, yum, Kathy. I love cabbage roll soup. Breakfast for dinner all the time, says Patricia. Oh, goodness. Yeah, absolutely. Because there's so many things that are on the breakfast menu. I mean, you can have Canadian ham. You can have biscuits. You can have pancakes. You can have waffles. You can have toast. You can have yogurt. You can have eggs. You can have so many different things. So many different things. We were in the med 90s on Monday, and now it is in the 50s. Oh, gosh. So your temperature saw State Trooper. Okay, gotcha. That's what our temperature did. Chili will be my dinner this evening, says Susan. Awesome. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Giovanna says, I love stew. Give it to me any day. I came across something the other day. You know, it said soup is actually witchcraft. We put vegetables and dead animals, or we put plants and dead animals into a pot following directions written by our ancient ancestors, and we stir them around and season them. Like, it's something along those lines. But basically, soup is witchcraft. And I had to laugh because it's accurate. It's accurate because we're always following an old ancient recipe. Unless somebody, creates a new version of soup, but it's probably been done before. Pam says, now I'm hungry, all right? Oh, Dawn says she has to go already. She has a class at 12:30. Enjoy your class, Dawn. Thank you for being here for as long as you were. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. Kathy's Quilts and Quaff saying, have a great day, Dawn. What is a breakfast food? To me, all food is for every meal. Okay, so that's kind of an American thing. There's some things, like, if you take Americans that are not well traveled or read or whatever, and you plop them into England or Scotland, and they are not at a facility that understands that we're Americans, it is so funny the stories that can be told about what Americans thought of the non-American breakfast. So in America, or in the United States, eggs, bacon, sausage, not like big sausage, like little bitty. There's breakfast sausage, and then there's other sausages. So like a hot dog sausage would not be a breakfast food. Just saying, it would not be. But there's also you can do andouille sausage as well as part of a breakfast food, but it is also an everyday food. Yogurts are considered a breakfast food. Orange juice is typically a breakfast drink. Coffee is definitely a breakfast drink. I mean, you drink coffee in other parts of the day, but you definitely drink it at breakfast. Like if you're a coffee drinker. Chloe said, bye, Dawn, I'm home. Glenda, Chloe, no place like home, right? I love it. I love it. Yeah, American breakfast foods are kind of a thing. We pride ourselves on breakfast. There's also cereals, oatmeals, and in the United States, it's more a tradition than it is per se that the food is exclusive to breakfast. Giovanna says here in Italy, they only eat sweet things for breakfast. They do eat sweets here for breakfast as well, but it's not as much of a requirement for eating just sweets here. Like, you can get a breakfast platter somewhere, and it will come with like a waffle or French toast or a muffin or something like that is sweet, but the majority of the meal is savory. Pam says pancakes and French toast. Yes, those are definitely sweet treats, sweet breakfast foods. I mean, I love scones too. Scones are really good, but they're definitely, I mean, you can eat them like tea cake time, like, snack time or whatever, but they're definitely considered a breakfast food. Bagels are a breakfast food here. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can eat any time of the day. There's nothing on the menu that is exclusively breakfast unless it is typically eggs. Eggs is typically a holdout for breakfast. You use them in other things, but you don't typically eat eggs for part of your meal, like your protein for your meal. You don't typically eat eggs unless you're eating breakfast. It's a traditional thing here, even though you can absolutely break the rules. We can have breakfast for dinner like my husband and I did the other night. But it's breakfast food for us, is kind of where we think of it. Giovanna says, tea is for breakfast, lunch, tea. Tea is for breakfast, lunch, tea, and dinner for me. Gotcha. Let's see. In Kenya, I used to have my eggs for breakfast with toast and tea. That is very much how we do here in the United States. It is definitely, eggs are definitely a breakfast thing, especially with toast. Eggs, bacon, or sausage and biscuits. Yummy. Kathy Coults. Helen came in just to say, you are all making me hungry. Well, good morning to you. Good morning, Helen. Glad you are here. I will take some credit for it because my card for today said if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? I figured it was better to do this now than to do it at dinner time where everybody's hungry. So now we're just going to make a few people who didn't eat breakfast already hungry. Giovanna says, I would also make fried rice for breakfast as we always had leftover rice. I have never had, like, that was never an option when I was a kid. We never had fried rice. It was not on the menu. It's like not something my mom made. But I've never actually seen anyone eat rice for breakfast. That would be completely new to me. Susan says, my mother was British, born on the something to the U.S. from England, or on the way to the U.S. from England. Favorite breakfast her mother made for us was Bubbles and Squeak. Oh, sausage and potato stitch. Yes, that is very British. That is very British. It is definitely not an American food. You do not hear anybody here say Bubbles and Squeak. I'm like the straw man on Oz. If only I had a brain, something stole. Oh no, Glenda. Oh no. Biscuits for me are your cookies. Oh, okay. So, biscuits here are kind of like a savory scone, is the best way I can put it, Giovanna. It's the best way I can think to put it. It's a savory scone. It's flour, butter, milk. It's not, it's definitely not the biscuit like cookie that you're thinking of. Dad loved it when I used to make fried rice. Yeah, I've never had fried rice, but I don't eat rice now, so I wouldn't be trying it anyway. It's not on my menu. My husband eats rice, but he doesn't eat fried rice. Chloe says, so silly, Glenda, right? So I got told, and you guys are allowed to laugh at this, I got told for the Halloween party I'm going to, I got told what everybody else is dressing up as in my friends group that's going. And I was told that in order to match with the group, because some people are going as other angels and fantastical creatures and such. I am going as a white angel, like a good angel. Why no rice? I have a texture and visual problem with rice. I was traumatized as a kid with rice, and I can't visualize rice, and I can't handle the texture in my mouth without thinking of the trauma. So it's psychological. It's not that I'm allergic. It's just, it is psychological. It's kind of like green beans too. I don't eat green beans for the same kind of reason. It's a psychological trauma. It's not a physical it's not a physical problem. It's just a psychological one. Oh, I forgot to tell you. In case you guys have not thought about this project in a while, this is Sparkle. This is the one that you guys picked that my husband had chosen. So I am still working on it. We are almost done with all the point pieces. I just have this stack left. So we just have to get the other side on all of these. Joy says, oops, so sorry for you. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I know how to order my food. Like, I tell the waiter or waitress. Joy says no rice for her either. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, when I go to a restaurant that does serve rice, or rice is a common side dish that comes with food, Mexican restaurants, Chinese restaurants, etc., I make sure that there is no rice on the dish. Or if there is, I ask if it can be done without rice. And as long as they say yes to that, I said, well, make sure that there's no rice on the plate. Because I will send it back to the kitchen if there's rice on the plate. And they always take care of it for me. I haven't finished it yet. It's been ages. Yeah, I know, right? I've been distracted by a few other projects. I'm not 100% happy with how these came out, because the points, I'm going to lose some of my points. It's just, there's no other way to do it. I'm going to lose my points on a lot of it. And unless I go back and take them apart and fix them, there's no real good way to fix it. So I don't think that the pattern was written well for explaining how you need to put these together. Like, it went over the basics, like, you know, that you sew this side to this side and you sew that side to that side. But there was nothing about, you know, because it's template cut, there was nothing about how to line these things up so that you don't lose your points. And the pattern, I mean, the picture on the quilt, or the picture of the quilt on the pattern shows the points. So it shows you actually having the points, but I can already tell you, unless I go back and fix them, I'm going to lose my points. Like me with my baby quilt, it's taking me ages. Yes, this is taking me a while. And part of it, I don't like template cutting. I know the pattern I just issued out was template cutting, but there's no other way for me to get you the designs. So it is what it is. Chloe says that she's always distracted. Oh, I am too. Glenda says, I only try to eat meat anymore because it's the only thing I'm not allergic to. Bummer. I can understand, Glenda. I can understand. After I had my surgery in 2016, they recommended that protein is always my first thing to eat. So I'm always conscious of all the different meats that I can eat, trying to make sure protein is the first thing that I eat and that I fill up on protein. So even though there's a lot of things on my menu that do not have protein in them, I do try to make it a point to put protein first. And sometimes that's all I eat is just protein. One of the things that I'm kind of on a kick of right now is you can find them at Sam's Club, and it is a chicken breast stuffed with ham and cheese. It's a chicken cordon bleu that's frozen. You turn on the oven and then it cooks in the oven for about an hour. And as long as it reaches the proper internal temperature, then you're good to go. And those have been easy for me to eat. So Giovanna says, wow, Glenda, that is a bummer. Yes, food allergies are particularly tough. They're particularly tough. So you guys are going to get to laugh at me when we start these Thursday nights because you're going to see me after my hand therapy. And guys, the first hand therapy appointment, I did not think that my body was going to hurt as much as it did. But manipulating my hand as much as we did during hand therapy, guys, that was amazingly painful. Chloe says, it reminds me, AccuQuilt, good sale, 40% off your whole order. Ooh, that is a really good sale on AccuQuilt. Yeah, you guys, Chloe just said if you guys are looking for AccuQuilt, it's 40% off your whole order right now. So now would be the time to buy AccuQuilt if you have the budget and have been eyeing an AccuQuilt or AccuQuilt dies. Now is the time to buy. And if you want to buy the double wedding ring die, that's the one that's going with the temperature quilt. You don't have to have it in order to do the temperature quilt. You don't have to have it. But if you want to make your life a little bit simpler, if you want to have it, because again, it is a full-on year-long temperature quilt. So if you want to have the die, now would be the time to buy it. No rice for me, says Patricia. It really spikes my blood sugar, but I love rice. It's my cheat food. Oh my gosh. Potato chips are my cheat food. Potato chips are definitely my cheat food. They are my... I don't feel like eating anything else. Let me eat something. They are that food for me. I don't typically crave something, but potato chips is the one thing that I can usually eat. Kathy says, my grandbaby is currently eating beef kebab with parsnip, spinach, carrots, herbs and spices puree, and prune puree. Oh my gosh, that child is eating probably more healthy than I am. A lot more healthy than I am. Glenda says, I saw that, Chloe. Wish they would do sales at the first of the month when I got money. Yeah, right. Check and see how long that sale is going on. Because if it does run through the first of the month, that would help. Let's see. Laura says, I'm not allergic to any foods that I know of, but I'm allergic to a laundry list of medications. I'm allergic to both. Well, I'm actually allergic to medications. All the foods that I've tested for allergens, I'm not actually allergic to, but my immune system will sometimes respond to different foods and just randomly throw out an error code. It's like the engine code. Welcome in, Deb. Welcome. She says, hi, Tammy. Good morning to you. Let's see. Giovanna says, I only have a problem with onion, but only if I eat too much. It gives me the runs. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that would be a painful way to find out that you're allergic to onions. My ex-husband was allergic to fennel. And then my current husband's allergic to mushrooms. I mean, I get the fun allergies. Oh, Laura says I'm definitely gonna have to get the double wedding ring die kit. Yeah, absolutely. There's two dies on the thing, so it'll come as two. It'll be two separate ones. And it is the. You know what? Hang on. Let me get you guys the number real quick. So bear with me just a second. Let me go off camera for just a second. Let me go get the die. Because you want to make sure you order the right one. Because there's two different sizes of the double wedding ring die. So bear with me just a second, guys. Let me get it. And tell you which ones you need. Alright. So there will be two dies, two die boards. One has the center, and then the other has the small pieces and the arcs and the peels that go into it. And they are 55076 and 55077. And when these were issued out, there wasn't another size, so they did not put a size on it. Joyce is allergic to peaches. Oh no! Peaches are good too. I'm sorry that you're allergic to those. Though I don't eat peaches a lot, but peaches are really, really good. Peaches would be a hard one for me to give up. Ooh, that's a good question, Giovanna. The peach or the fur of the peach? Because apparently there's 2 different allergies, and I did not know that. Let's see. Okay, go dies. 55077. Love the little pop-up ad. Thank you, AccuQuilts. Alright. Okay. Search for that. Let's see if this is the right one. Looks like the 11.5. Let me make sure. Details. I'm saying it looks like 55078 is the one that is this, the 11.5. So if you're wanting to get the AccuQuilt double wedding ring die on their sale in order to do the double wedding ring temperature quilt pattern, is 55078. Yeah, it is not a, you're right, it is not a must food. Oh, she's been allergic since she was a small child. No, this is the regular AccuQuilt. The studio dies have the wood base, so they have like a wood board that they're on. So the Go dies and Go Baby and Go Studio or Go Big are all they all have that green backing. So yeah, this will go on an AccuQuilt Go Big. Absolutely. Yep, it'll go on an AccuQuilt Go Big. Yeah, so they're the, see if I can get it in the camera. Yeah, so they are, you know, they're not very thick. The studio dies are about half an inch thicker at least. So 55078 is the number for it. Because yeah, these do finish 11.5, I think. But of course, you know, when I bought these, there wasn't another option. So yeah, I've had them a while. Yeah. So since Chloe said, yeah, there's a 40% off. Yeah, if you guys want to get that, now is the time to get it. I don't know if they're running another. They should tell you if you call the customer service. They should. But because they said, usually when there's a die set, like it's giving me 2 different die numbers. Usually when there's a die set like that, the number of the 2 dies together is right next to the numbers that are being used. Okay, yeah, there we go. The arc shape is 55077. Yeah, okay, so it is this one. 55078 is the die number that you need if you want the ease of cutting it on the AccuQuilt after you've done all the other work. So you don't have to have it. I will say it that way. You don't have to have it. If you want it though, if you want the ease of putting it on the die and rolling it through and having it all cut for you instead of you taking the time to template cut everything, then that's the die to get. The 55078 die. If you don't get it, you can still do the pattern. I will still have everything in there. You will have the templates to cut everything, so you don't have to panic about whether or not you can actually actually get it done. Okay, you will be able to get it done. It's just, are you going to do it by template or are you going to do it by the AccuQuilt die? Giovanna says, I got the template for it. So whatever template you may have may be slightly different from what I've got. And that's kind of the thing too. So when I issue out the pattern, you will get the templates that match this die, because you'll get the paper piecing, plus you'll get all of the templates to trace to make all the pieces that fit together like this. So that's kind of the thing too. So it may or may not be identical to other templates out there. AccuQuilt kind of does their own little thing sometimes, and the pattern that you get from AccuQuilt may not be identical to other patterns that you get from other sources, if that makes sense. It's kind of like you writing in cursive and me writing in cursive and my husband writing in cursive. Even though we are all writing in cursive, the way that I draw my T may be different from the way you draw your letter T. And it may be different from the way my husband draws his letter T. My letter F is usually different from everyone else's. But so it's kind of like penmanship, double wedding ring quilts. Unless you and 5 other people are doing the exact same pattern from the exact same template set, the templates will be different. Giovanna says Debbie is going to do the solo next year. Yeah, I knew she was wanting to do one too. I don't think she was wanting to do hers as a temperature quilt. So mine is temperature quilt. I am planning in the next year or in the new year. I'm not sure exactly how I'm doing the setup for it, but because we have so many different projects going on, we'll have Fab Farm, we'll have the double wedding ring quilt, we'll still have Hold It going over through July for Land That I Love. What I may be doing is certain months is certain lives may be dedicated to one project per live kind of thing. So you guys see snippets of projects as I'm working on them. And I may do a Saturday a month to do the double wedding ring temperature quilt. Or it may be here, I'm just going to work on it for 5-10 minutes here and there. I don't know yet. I haven't settled all the details on it. But we are going to do a sew along for it as well. The Italian cursive is so beautiful, says Giovanna. I can honestly say I don't think I've seen Italian cursive. But I don't doubt you. I don't doubt you. My penmanship is horrible. So those of you who have gotten thank you cards from me when you've gotten your giveaway items, please do not hang them up and show them off, because my penmanship is that horrendous. Please don't take offense. Everybody's thank you cards is probably just as chicken scratch as the next thank you card. Yes, you could, Giovanna. She said, I could do Debbie's one with a twisted temperature quilt. Yeah, you absolutely could. What am I planning to record in your temperature quilt? High, low, average, inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so the temperature quilt that I am doing for the sample. So the sample quilt has the high temperature, the low temperature, the difference between the temperatures. So if the high for the day is 70 and the low is 30, that's a 40-degree difference. So there's a value for that 40-degree difference. And I'm also doing wind speed. So those are the 4 values I'm pulling. If you do want to do just a high and a low, you can sub in. The quilt will look slightly different, and there's a couple of hiccups that you'll have to do. But I do recommend picking 4 values, because that is what it is based off of. That's what this one is based off of. Next year I may issue, or halfway through the year, I may issue an alternate pattern. If you don't want to use 4 values and you just want to use 3 or just want to use 2, I may issue alternate options. But the initial pattern is using 4 values. So I'm doing high, low, difference between the temperatures and wind speed for my sample quilt. Let me grab it real quick. And I'm actually done sewing for the moment, I think. I think I'm done. Let's see. Let me grab... There we go. I'm doing daily high temperature, daily low, the max wind speed. And I'm doing the amount of daylight. That is something unique for me anyway. The hours of daylight is something different from anything I've ever experienced before. So living in Alabama, you really don't notice a difference between the middle of summer to the middle of winter. Like the hours of daylight, hours and minutes of daylight doesn't mean a whole lot. But it does here. So that's what I'm doing on my quilt. So my high temperature is going to be my reds. My low temperature is going to be my blues. My wind is going to be my green, I believe. And my hours of daylight is going to be orange. I believe that's what I'm doing. Susan says, my mother lamented how college ruined my penmanship. All those notes I had to take and take quickly did change it. Yeah, absolutely. When you have to write faster, it does change your penmanship, because there's no sense in trying to keep your penmanship pretty when you really don't have the time to keep it pretty. My penmanship actually was really pretty in high school, in all but one of my classes. One of my classes, it was absolutely horrendous because the teacher she was one of those, she had 2 blackboards in her room. That'll tell you how old I am. We did not have whiteboards. Whiteboards were just being introduced in sizes that large, and they were not available in our school. She would write, before you walked into class, one chalkboard was completely full of notes. Completely full. Like, she didn't tell you about it. She just wrote the notes. Like, she had a notebook that she was copying from, and she just wrote the notes. So there was already one blackboard full of notes. From the moment you walked into class, she was starting on that second chalkboard. You had to rush into class, hurry up, get your seat, and start copying down that first chalkboard, because the moment she got to the bottom of that second chalkboard, she was erasing the first one. So if you did not write fast enough to copy down that entire chalkboard, by the time she finished that first chalkboard at the beginning, that second chalkboard at the beginning of the class, you had no hope of getting those notes back unless you asked somebody for help. So that class was awful. Kathy says, well, guys, I have to duck out. Grandbaby is ready for snuggles and his nap. Absolutely, Kathy. I am just going to cut these apart and just chat for a few minutes, and then we're done here. So you're good. So after I get off of here, what I'm doing today is I am layering the baby quilt, the bobble quilt, so that I can quilt it. I haven't decided how I'm quilting it yet. So that is still kind of up in the air, which is really bad. I should already know how I'm going to quilt it. And then I've got to pull my cross-stitch quilt out, my sister-in-law's cross-stitch quilt out, finish quilting it, and that's what I'm working on the rest of the day. And I will pre-cut everything for Halloween Town sometime tonight, so that we can be working on that tomorrow. Do not forget, I will be live noon tomorrow. That is Mountain Time. So that is 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys aren't doing anything and you want company, come put me on your channel, or come put me on your TV, your phone, your computer, whatever, your tablet, you know, all the electronic devices. Go ahead and put me on, and we will be going through putting that together tomorrow. So you guys will also get to see if I get bobble quilt quilted. I'll show it off to you guys. Baby is here, so bobble quilt needs to be finished like yesterday. So yeah, we gotta get bobble quilt done because baby is here and needs it. So let's see. See y'all next time, says Kathy. Absolutely, Kathy. I agree, Glenda. She says, Kathy, enjoy all the snuggles you can get. So precious. Yes, right. It is amazing, those little ones. How many colors and fabrics am I using? In which quilt? In this quilt right here. Is that the quilt we're talking about? Are we talking about Sparkle? Or are we talking about the bobble quilt? In the bobble quilt, I use 6 fabrics. You use 4 for the main colors and then 2 for your backgrounds. This quilt, I have the sky and the ground fabrics. Giovanna says, got a call. What did I miss? Not too much. Kathy's headed off to go cuddle with the grandbaby. Get the cuddles in while she can. And Laura's asked me how many colors and fabrics that I'm using, so I need to know which quilt we're talking about. Yeah, in bobble, let me bring you guys over real quick. There we go. That way I can move the camera without making anybody sick. So grand total in this quilt, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fabrics. That's it. Oh, 10. Because 11. Okay. So 11 fabrics total. But the background, the sky, and the ground, those are the fabrics that are going into the rest of the sashing. The rest of the quilt. So it's going to... I think you guys will be quite impressed with what I choose to use. But it is going to be the 2 shades of purple. So the light purple that you see for the skies or the background, and then the dark purple that you see for the ground. Those are the 2 colors that I'm going to use to finish out Halloween Town. The bubble quilt, you know what? You guys get it. You guys get a treat. All right, bear with me. For the temperature quilt. Oh, gotcha. I'm using 4 colors for the 4 different values. So you use 1 color for high, 1 for low, 1 for wind speed, 1 for, hours of daylight. Use 1 for each of those. So with that being said, how many you use depends on how tight you want your values. So let's say I only wanted to use 5 reds, then all the way from -40 to probably 110, I would have to, it'd be a really wide range. Oh, you want to start gathering fabric for the temperature quilt? Absolutely. Ooh, cool, Susie. She says, good morning, kind of listening while helping install the shower. Let me show this while I've got it in my lap real quick. So, I got Bobble together. So, she is together. And it's 4 blocks wide by 4 blocks tall. And I did half blocks to give it that extra movement. So, I want to show that real quick. Kathy's Quilts and Crafts got to run. Time for breakfast. Have a great day, everyone. Absolutely, Kathy. Enjoy breakfast for me. I really didn't have breakfast. Glenda says I got 15 blocks on the bubble quilt and 15 more cut and ready. So awesome! Yay! Yay! Awesome. All right, let me pull my fabrics out for the temperature quilt, and I'll show you what I got. It is a stack, so bear with me. Let me move this out of my way so I can bring it up here. Oh, I have a spare quilt, random quilt I need to work on. All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull my background first. All right. So, this is my background. It is solid black. It is Kona black. It's not going to have anything. It's not grunge. It's not anything else. It is solid black, okay? That is my background. That is what I'm going to be working with. My other one, I'm using like a muslin color, and it's okay. It's okay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I've got 7 of each, is what I did. So in my greens, I've got a dark green. Let's see. This will probably be the next one in the line. It's got prints on it. It's also got stray thread on it, so bear with. I've got a solid. I wanted to do a lot of solids, but I couldn't find enough solids to do all of them. Then this one, and these are very wrinkled because I washed them, but I didn't press them yet. So they've just been sitting here washed and folded. And then this is my lightest green. Glenda says, oh wow, I'm doing black and white background. Yes. Black and white background is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, so for the Tempter quilt, I'm going to do solid black. So that's 7 greens. So I've got 7 of everything. And I don't know. Like, I pulled polka dots. I pulled a lot of polka dots, and I don't know why, but I have polka dots in here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I've got 7 of everything. And it looks like I grabbed a yard of each. Yeah, so a yard of each. Am I sure, 100% sure that a yard of each is going to be enough? No, I'm not. And if we run out of fabric partway through, yes, I do wash my fabric, Giovanna. Most of it. There's a couple times that I haven't pre-washed, but most of the time I do pre-wash. So I have a yard of each of these 7 fabrics for my orange. Now, if you want more variety, you can do more than 7 colors. I wrote it for 7 colors because I figured that was probably the easiest range to work with. If you want to buy more than a yard of everything, like, a yard and a half, if you go over a yard and a half, then you have a lot of days where your temperature range or your wind speed or whatever really falls into that range. Okay? You should not need the full yard on anything, but having a full yard is not a bad idea. So my blues have a lot more prints. I've got 2 prints in the blues. 3 prints in the blues because of grunge. Let's see, reds, I've got 2 that are solids. The rest are all prints. And yeah, I ended up with polka dots. I ended up with a lot of polka dots. Glenn says, if only mine would work full-time instead of part-time. That's what strokes do. Oh yeah, I understand that. I was thinking about a scrap one. Absolutely. So when you do a Tempter quilt, if you're going to do it scrappy, my recommendation, and you can take this or leave it, but my recommendation is to take and get yourself separate bins for each of your ranges. No, I'm not putting yellow, Clint Giovanna. Good try though, good try. No, I'm not doing yellow. I don't think I could handle looking at that much yellow all year long. So the nice thing with this is, all right, so, okay, so let's say you want to do scraps. So here's what I would do. Susie says, love polka dots. I'm not a huge fan of polka dots. I guess it's better than stripes. But polka dots is not my favorite, but they had a lot of them when I went and got these. Glenda says that she's got yellow in hers. Awesome. Awesome. So here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. If you're going to do a temperature quilt scrappy. So I have this fabric. I have a yard of this fabric. That's how much I'm allotting to use. That's how much I'm allotting to use. Okay. I'm allotting myself 1 yard of fabric. If you can allot yourself, especially when you're doing scrappy, go for 1.5 yards of total fabrics, if not 2 yards of total fabrics. So I have these plastic bins up here. Those are scrap bins, and I have them color-coded, kind of. They're color-coded inside them. You can't see them from where you're at because the fabrics are not that full. Make an entire bin for this color range. Okay. Make an entire bin for this color range. Make an entire bin for this color range. Or do it in bags. Do it in Ziploc bags. However you need to separate it. But I would recommend, for simplicity's sake, I would recommend seven ranges, seven varieties to fit in that color range. Now, with that being said, I have seen a temperature quilt done a different way. So instead of doing by color ranges, and this is up to you if you feel like this would be more up your alley. If you do not have the stash to do that much fabric that you like in that color range, and you don't want to go buy anything, but you have a lot of different prints, you could do one range that everything is polka dots. Everything is stripes. Everything is plaids. But you do want to keep it in that color. So let's say green is one of your colors. So all the greens that have polka dots on them is one color range. All the greens with stripes is one color. All the greens with swirls is another. You know, you could do something like that. It's a lot more time intensive to separate it out. But if that's something that you want to do, I have seen it done that way. I'm not sure that I would want to do mine that way because it's not as visually stunning to see it that way, but I have seen them done that way. So you absolutely could. But yeah, so I've got 28 yards of fabric for my colors, and I will remeasure my background. I don't know how much yardage I have for that, but I will recalculate that, and that will be in the pattern, so that you guys can go by background to go with all of your colors. Does that make sense? And the chat is quiet. I'm going to put this back real quick. Oh. Let's see. Pull out my random pattern that was in my way. My random kit. Oh. Dark yellow near orange. Nah, I'm good. You're trying, but no, I'm good. No desire to have yellow in my quilts. Because I'm going to be looking at this for years to come. I'm actually using 2024 values for mine, so I don't have to go grab 2025 values. And mine is going to be symbolic of my first full calendar year here in Casper. So that's what I'm going off of, is my first full calendar year in Casper. That's what my temperature quilt is going to be based off of. Giovanna is crying. Yep, no yellows. I'm sorry. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. If you have comments or questions, That's a lot of colors. I'd be so confused. So that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. When you do a temperature quilt, because there's 4 values in this quilt, there's 4 values. You need 4 different colors, 4 different sections, so to speak. And then within those sections, you need to choose values that are going to be your ranges. And that's what gives it a range. Now, you could, and I haven't written it for it, but you could do, Joyce, well, thank you. She says, have a great day, everyone. Absolutely, Joyce. Have a great day yourself. You could do it in 3 colors per one. So let's say for my green, I do a high, medium, and low. And then for my blue, I do a high, medium, and low. My red, I do a high, medium, and low. And my orange, I do a high, medium, and low. It wouldn't be as dramatic, I don't think. But you could do that. So if the range is above, say 50 for the day, that's a high. If it's below, 32, it's a low, something like that. You could always absolutely do that. Laura says, I'm thinking about doing a temperature quilt for the year we were married. Absolutely. That's the way that I did it, kind of the way I did the first one. My first one is historical as well. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. If you have any comments or questions after the live, absolutely make a comment. If you've not hit that like or thumbs up, or you've not hit the thumbs down, please hit one. Let YouTube know you were here, that you enjoyed the content, didn't enjoy the content, whatever it is. I am not going to be upset or hurt by any of the responses. So, hit one of them so YouTube knows that we were here. And I want you all to have a great day. I will see you tomorrow starting at noon Mountain Time for Sewing Halloween Town. All right, y'all have a great Saturday.